Guys, Carl built C-40. This is a single 2290, and the reason I'm doing this video, I had a customer message me just a few minutes ago. Really, we've been messaging back and forth like 15-20 minutes, and his initial message, he asked if one of these would cut down to 1 watt average. So I was a little bit confused because 1 watt average is basically nothing. That'd be like 2.5, 3 watts PEP. So what he's actually trying to figure out, I guess, is if it will turn down to 1 watt of a carrier. Because later in his messages, he said 1 watt average dead key. I've never heard anybody really refer to dead key with average power behind it. You know, average dead key or peak dead key, because dead key is just dead key. Your resting carrier is your resting carrier. But nonetheless, we'll test it on the bird and see what we come up with here. And see how this thing does, or how far we need to cut it back for it to go down to 1 watt. So we'll start with our unit in 66. It is set at a 1 watt dead key. We'll just verify that over on the bird. I've got a 10 watt slug, so we're looking at the bottom scale. And that first hash mark, that large hash mark that we're coming to, that is going to be 1 watt. Okay, so now what I want to do is turn on the C-40 here. And just for purpose of testing this, our radio swings about 35 PEP, 38, and it does about 9 to 10 average. That's modulated average power, not dead key. It'll turn up to like 7 watts dead key, I think. So we already established we're putting 1 watt in. Let's see what the C-40 does. Wide open. Well, it does over 10 watts, so let's test it with a 50 watt slug. Put our 50 in here. And remember, we're only putting 1 watt in. So 1 watt in is about 14 or 15 out. And now what I want to do is put our 10 back in and see if we can dial this guy back and how far we have to dial it back. So I'm just going to turn it in increments, because what you never want to do is key up and then turn this thing at the same time, because that will burn a variable up very quickly if you do that. So if you're setting your dead key with the variable, you know, don't turn this at the same time. Turn it a little bit, check it. That's why it's always best to have a variable in your radio. That way you can play with it some and back it down if you need to, and then just kind of use this as a secondary means to turn your power down. So let's see how much it went down to here. So we're halfway. We were wide open, 15 watts. Now we're halfway. So that gave us about a 3 watt dead key when we went halfway. So we're getting close. Let's back it down between 9 and 10 o'clock. And there's our 1 watt dead key. So yes, it will turn down to a 1 watt dead key. Now, how much it's going to swing, a lot of that depends on how much our radio's doing. Again, this one's doing 9 to 10 average. So we can see it's probably going to do way more than 10 bird. Hello? Yeah. So let's see how much it cuts down to on swing. Again, we're swinging 9 to 10 average into it. Let's just go ahead and put a 100 watt slug in there. Oh, yeah. So 1 watt swinging 40 with it at 10 o'clock. And then wide open. Ooh. Showing like 18 watts. Showing a little more on this slug than it was on the other, but audio 45, 50 PEP, or average PEP, audio, over 100. We'll turn it back to 10 o'clock, see what it swings PEP. If he doesn't take this one, it's up for sale. I'll try to keep these in stock. I've got this one, I've got one with a high and low on it, so. Hello. Yeah, still over 100 watts. So it's kind of acting like a modulator. What I mean by that is you can have a 1 watt dead key, come over here, turn this back, and you've still got 1 watt. Now, obviously, we could back it on down if we wanted to. Matter of fact, let's just see. Might as well go into depth with this thing while we're testing it out here. If I can get my slug in. Okay, let's just turn it all the way down. See how much it does. That's actually keyed up right there, so nothing. Oh, that still swings, beating my meter against the wall, so. All right, that's it, man. Marty, maybe that makes it more plain for you so there's no confusion with our text messages. Just future reference, guys. When somebody asks me how much average power something does, I'm going to assume that you're asking me how much it does when you're modulating into it. If you ask me how much something dead keys, I mean, that's easy. I can tell you what something dead keys. But if you say average power, I'm going to be looking for how much something does average. And if you say average dead key, then I'm going to look for both, I guess. But he was just wanting to know the dead key, I guess. So anyway, Marty, hopefully this clears it up for you, man. And if you want it, let me know. If not, I've got these available, guys. I've got this one, and here's one with a high and low. So for the longest, I couldn't get any 1 pills. Nobody wanted to build them because it wasn't worth their time, and now Carl's built me some, and I've got these. I've got this one with a 2290. I've got that one with a high and low in 2290, and I've got the C-40 with a high and low, which it has a single 2879 in it. So all nice little 1-pill drivers, and I use a C-40 all the time. I love that thing. Everybody have a good day. Appreciate it, guys. Rooster in Tennessee. More videos come. See you. Bye.